Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, thank you very much for having invited me to be here to be with you. Thank you very much for excellent reception. Thank you for our sharing of very important information and preparing ourselves to represent Africa when we are going to the States at the invitation of the President of the United States. I was telling somebody we have been summoned to go to Washington, but that's not true. They are all equals. We were kindly invited to go to Washington. So thank you very much. I talk about my brother as one of what I call third wave of African leaders. That's maybe fourth wave. Third wave of African leaders. The first wave of African leaders were our founding fathers. Very extraordinary personalities who told us to get up and fight to free ourselves. Well, second wave leaders were very equally important, but got caught up in the Cold War confusion, where we had East-West confusion. We therefore didn't take sometimes our own positions. We had some military coups that often, some one-party states, but they are not all bad. But third wave leaders come through constitutional means. They also want to abide by term limits. And my brother believes in that, I believe in that. Because if you are elected directly by people, you are a president, not in parliament, you are not quite that directly accountable. That prime minister could sit in the parliament and answer all the questions. So I think term limits in Africa, in the world, are very important. That's why I am now serving out my last term. The time is running, it's about 2 years, 3 months to go. That's a long time. But I've been around in this business and I'm happy that I will be going and handing over to some other people. Just a little story also about, as a political scientist, I hope. The difference between business persons and politicians. You see, we all went to the same schools, basically. But some of you think, when we are politicians, we are not that clever. But we are in the same schools. What's the difference? The reality I know as a politician is different from your reality. Your bottom line is that of profit, business persons. Your bottom line is that of profit. Politicians' bottom line is also there, but it's about peace, unity, and development. Yours is easy. Person fails, you fire them. Mine is difficult. The person comes from this region, you are just fire them. I'm building a nation. So that's why mine or any politician's bottom line is that of peace, unity, and development. So we all come from the same academic background or military or whatever it is. But that's the difference. But look, the third wave leaders we have are that my brother. We don't have to meet and go to UN and consult. We have same approaches. You are there to serve the people. You are a servant to people. And therefore, how you behave in your governance architecture is to deliver service. Equality women, in our case, who were fighting, were equal. But how can they go back to kitchen after independence? That's why what we are doing is very important. The men must take off their dirty hands, I would say. Not just their hands, but dirty hands. They must do that. That's why this meeting was very good. I'm glad I'm passing through, but I was invited by my brother to be here. So therefore, just one point to underscore our relationship. Sierra Leone and Namibia. It looks like we are far from one another. But those of us who were fighting had to carry the passports, travel documents. We didn't have a country to give us our passport. The few selected leaders in Swapo were carrying Leone national passport, not document, passport. How did it help us? One example. I went to France with my wife now, former American wife who is now late. But not this one. This is my current wife. So, Tiana sells my jokes, so don't worry. I came to France, having my UN laissez-passer. Proud, and when we came, I threw my laissez-passer, and they said, they looked at my wife and said, "You can pass, but he must wait." So what do you miss my wife? How can she leave me here? Well, she's American, she can pass. Then I was about to be deported, and I pretended, "Did you mean a passport?" He said, "Yes." That they were saying, "Yes, you fool," or something like that. Then I quickly took out the passport of Sierra Leone. "Yes, this is the passport." And that way I was allowed to pass. That's one example. With that, I would like to propose a close our good relationship. Continue the relationship and fight against men who are having dirty hands, touch women and treat them. They say, "Take your dirty hands away from our girls." Let's think to that.
Thank you, His Excellency, Dr. Gengob, for that